My fiancé laughed. Why do you even care how they're treated? That's beneath you. A few heads turned. I stayed calm. Noted. I stepped away without a word. When I came back, the bill had already been handled, and everyone was suddenly watching her. I'm 32, and until last weekend, I thought I knew exactly who I was marrying. My fiancée and I had been together for 2 years, engaged for 4 months. She came from money, old family wealth, the kind where you don't talk about it, but everyone knows. I grew up middle class, worked my way through college, built my career from nothing. She said she loved that about me, that I was real and grounded. Turns out those were just words. We'd planned this dinner for weeks. Her parents, her sister and brother-in-law, and a few of her childhood friends. 8 people total at this upscale restaurant downtown, the kind of place where the menu doesn't have prices and the waiter explains each dish like it's a work of art. I'd made the reservation, planned to pick up the tab as a gesture since her father had been paying for most of the wedding expenses. The evening started fine. Drinks, appetizers, conversation flowing easily. Her father asked about work. Her mother complimented my suit. Her sister talked about their upcoming vacation. Normal dinner party stuff. I was relaxed, thinking this was going well, that I was fitting into her world smoothly. Our waiter was young, maybe early 20s, clearly new. He was trying hard, but he was nervous. Got a couple orders mixed up, forgot to bring bread, took a bit too long with the wine. Nothing major, just the kind of small mistakes you make when you're learning. I'd worked service jobs through college, so I got it. I smiled when he apologized, told him no problem, it happens. My fiancé didn't share that perspective. The first comment came when he brought the wrong wine to the table. This isn't what I ordered, she said, her voice sharp. Can you not read? He flushed red, apologized profusely, went to correct it. Jesus, she muttered to her sister. How hard is it to pour wine? I didn't say anything then. Figured she was just having an off moment, maybe stressed about the dinner going well. But it kept happening. When he forgot the bread, she sighed loudly and said to the table, Unbelievable. Do we need to do his job for him? When he took a few extra minutes with our entrees, she flagged down the manager, complained that the service was unacceptable, suggested maybe they should hire people who actually know what they're doing. I watched our waiter's face throughout the evening, watched him go from nervous to embarrassed to something that looked like he was fighting back tears. And I watched my fiancé enjoy it, like his discomfort was entertainment. The final straw came during dessert. He brought out the wrong cake for her friend, an honest mistake since 2 people had ordered similar things. Before he could even apologize, my fiancé laughed, loud enough that nearby tables looked over. This is ridiculous, she said. We're paying how much to eat here, and this is what we get? Maybe you should try working somewhere more your speed. Like a fast food place. Her friends giggled. Her sister smirked. Her parents said nothing, which somehow felt worse. I set down my fork. That's not okay. She looked at me, still smiling. What? Talking to him like that. He's trying his best. He's doing a terrible job. He made a few small mistakes. Nothing that ruined anyone's evening. She rolled her eyes. Oh God, here we go? Your working class hero routine. It's not a routine. It's basic respect. It's his job to serve us correctly. If he can't handle it, he shouldn't work here. Everyone makes mistakes. Especially when they're new at something. She leaned back, that patronizing smile still on her face. Why do you even care how they're treated? That's beneath you. A few heads turned at nearby tables. Her father cleared his throat uncomfortably. I felt my face get hot, but I kept my voice level. Noted, I said quietly. I stood up, excused myself, said I needed to use the restroom. Walked away from that table, past the curious stairs, into the hallway by the bathrooms. Stood there for a minute, just breathing, trying to process what had just happened. Beneath me. Like caring about another human being was somehow a character flaw. I pulled out my phone, found the waiter near the kitchen, asked if I could speak to him privately for a second. He looked terrified, probably thought I was going to complain too. I'm so sorry about my table, I said. The way she's been speaking to you is completely unacceptable. He blinked, surprised. It's okay, It's not okay. You're doing fine. Everyone has off nights. Everyone makes mistakes. She's being cruel for no reason. His eyes got a little wet. Thank you. Really. I thought maybe I was just being too sensitive. You're not. She's being horrible, and I'm sorry you're dealing with it. I went back to the table, but something had shifted in me. I sat down, barely participated in the rest of the conversation. Just watched my fiancée laugh with her friends, completely unbothered, like she hadn't just humiliated someone for sport. When the check came, I did something I hadn't planned. I excused myself again, caught our waiter, and handed him my card privately. "Run this," I said quietly. "Put a 40% tip on it. And add another 100, cash, just for you. Don't tell them I took care of it. Just bring the check back marked paid." He stared at me. "Sir, that's... Please. It's important." He nodded slowly, understanding something unspoken. I came back to the table. 5 minutes later, he returned with the check, placed it in front of my fiancée since she'd been the one asking for it. She opened it, expecting to see the total. Her face changed. "It says paid." Everyone looked. Her father frowned. "What do you mean, paid?" "The bill. It's already been paid. In full." They all turned to look at me. I said nothing, just took a sip of water. "Did you?" My fiancée started. "I took care of it," I said simply. "When?" "Just now." "But you've been sitting here." I stepped away. "Twice. You might remember." Her mother looked confused. Her sister was staring at me like she was trying to figure out a puzzle. My fiancée's face was turning red. "Why didn't you tell me you were paying? You didn't ask. You just assumed you'd handle it. We could have split it, or my father." "It's done." The table went quiet. That's when our waiter came back over, and I saw what was happening. He wasn't alone. The manager was with him, and behind them, 3 other servers. They'd all been watching, apparently. All heard how my fiancée had been treating their coworker. The manager spoke first. "I wanted to personally thank you for your generosity tonight," he said, looking directly at me. "Your tip was incredibly kind, and I want you to know that we don't tolerate the way some guests speak to our staff." My fiancée's face went from red to white. "Excuse me. I've reviewed the evening with our team. The way you spoke to our server was inappropriate and unacceptable. We'd prefer you not return to our establishment." Dead silence. Every nearby table was openly staring now. "You're banning me?" Her voice was shaking. "Do you know who my family is?" "I do. And it doesn't change our policy. We treat our staff with respect, and we expect the same from our guests." Her father started to speak up, probably to smooth things over with money or connections, but I cut him off. "She was cruel to someone who was just trying to do his job," I said quietly. "Made fun of him, belittled him, suggested he was too stupid to work here. Over minor mistakes that didn't matter. She did it for entertainment." Her mother's mouth fell open. Her sister looked away. Her friends were suddenly very interested in their phones. "That's not..." My fiancée started, but her voice cracked. She looked around at all the watching faces, at her family's expressions, at me. "Can we just leave?" "Of course," I said. I stood up, nodded to the manager and servers. "Thank you for a lovely evening." We walked out in complete silence. The valet brought our cars around. Her family got in theirs without saying goodbye. Her friends scattered to their vehicles quickly, avoiding eye contact. My fiancée and I stood in the parking lot alone. "I cannot believe you just did that," she said finally. "Did what?" "Tipped someone well? Defended them when they were being mistreated? You humiliated me in front of everyone." "No, you humiliated yourself. I just refused to pretend it was okay. He was doing a bad job. He made small mistakes. You were cruel. There's a difference." She stared at me like I was a stranger. "When did you become so sanctimonious? When did you become so cruel?" Update 1. We drove separately back to my apartment. She followed me, and I knew we were about to have a bigger conversation. I wasn't wrong. She came in, threw her purse on the couch, and turned on me immediately. "You made me look like a monster in front of my entire family." "I didn't make you look like anything. I showed them who you actually are. Because I expected decent service at a nice restaurant. Because you bullied a kid who was nervous and trying his best. Because you enjoyed watching him squirm. Because when I called you out, you said caring about how people are treated is beneath me." She flinched at that. "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" "I just meant, you're above worrying about stuff like that. You're successful, you're human. Because that's what it takes to care about someone else's dignity. Basic humanity." "Oh, please. You're acting like I committed a crime. I was rude to a waiter. It happens. It shouldn't. And it's not just that you were rude. It's that you don't think you did anything wrong." She sat down, and I could see her trying to recalibrate, trying to figure out how to handle this. "Look, I'm sorry if I embarrassed you. You didn't embarrass me. You embarrassed yourself. And you showed me something I should have seen before. What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I've been ignoring red flags because I didn't want to see them." The way you talk about service workers, retail employees, anyone you think is below you. The comments about my background, framed as compliments, but really just reminders that I'm not from your world. The way you treat people you think don't matter. That's not fair, isn't it? Be honest. When's the last time you thanked a cashier? Or said please to someone serving you food? When's the last time you saw them as actual people? She didn't answer. That waiter tonight. He's probably working 2 jobs to pay for school, or supporting his family, or just trying to survive. And you made him feel worthless because your wine took an extra 3 minutes. I don't have to justify myself to you. No, you don't. Just like I don't have to marry someone who thinks basic human decency is beneath them. Her face went blank. What are you saying? I'm saying I need to think about whether I can marry someone who treats people this way. Over one dinner? You're going to throw away 2 years over one bad dinner. It's not one dinner. It's what that dinner showed me about who you are when you think it doesn't matter. She stood up. Fine. Think about it. Call me when you stop being so dramatic. She left. I sat in my apartment alone, the engagement ring on the counter where she'd put it when she was washing dishes the night before, and I realized I wasn't sad. I was relieved. Update 2. I didn't call her the next day, or the day after that. By the 3rd day, she was calling me, texting, asking when we could talk. I finally agreed to meet for coffee. She showed up looking tired, like she hadn't slept well. Have you thought about it? She asked after we sat down. I have. And I can't do this. Can't do what? Have one fight. Can't marry someone who treats people the way you treated that waiter. Can't build a life with someone who thinks empathy is weakness. I said I was sorry. No, you said you were sorry if you embarrassed me. That's not the same as being sorry for what you did. She was quiet for a moment. What do you want me to say? Nothing. I don't think you understand why what you did was wrong. And I can't teach you empathy. You either have it or you don't. So that's it. You're ending our engagement because I was rude one time. I'm ending it because you showed me a side of you I can't live with. And because I realized I've been making excuses for behavior I should have confronted a long time ago. She started crying. Please don't do this. I'll change. I'll be better. You shouldn't have to change who you fundamentally are to be a decent person. And I shouldn't have to beg my partner to treat others with respect. My family is going to be devastated. Your family watched you bully someone and said nothing. I'm not sure they get to be devastated. You're being cruel now. No, I'm being honest. There's a difference. Update 3. The breakup went about as well as you'd expect. She told her family I'd overreacted, that I'd humiliated her publicly, that I was self-righteous and judgmental. Her mother called me, asking if we could work through this, saying every couple has rough patches. I told her gently that this wasn't a rough patch. This was a fundamental incompatibility in values. Her father called too, surprisingly. I want you to know I understood what you did that night, he said. My daughter was out of line. My wife and I discussed it after. We should have said something. Why didn't you? He sighed. Honestly, because we raised her that way. To think she was above certain people. It's a failing on our part, and I'm sorry you were put in that position. Thank you for saying that. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Both at the restaurant and now. That conversation stuck with me. At least someone in that family had some self-awareness. My friends were divided. Some thought I'd overreacted, that everyone has bad moments, and I should have given her a chance to grow. Others said they'd seen signs of this behavior before, and were glad I'd finally acknowledged it. My mother, when I told her, just said, good. I never liked how she talked to waiters. You noticed? Honey, everyone noticed. We just didn't want to say anything. Update 4. About a month after the breakup, I got a message from our waiter from that night. Someone had given him my contact information, probably the manager, who I'd left my details with when I paid the bill. I wanted to thank you again for what you did, the message said. That night was one of the hardest of my life. I almost quit. But what you did, standing up for me, it meant everything. I kept the $100. It helped me pay rent that month. But more than that, it reminded me that people can be good, that I deserve respect even in this job. I'm in school now, working towards something better. But I'll never forget your kindness. I sat there staring at that message for a long time. That's when I knew I'd made the right choice. Because that mattered to me more than any fancy dinner or family connection ever could. Update 5. 3 months later, I ran into my ex-fiancée at a mutual friend's party. She was there with someone new, a guy who looked like he came from the same world she did. They seemed happy. She saw me, came over after a few drinks. Can we talk? Sure. We stepped onto the patio, away from the noise. I wanted to apologize, she said. Really apologize. Not the fake one from before. Okay. I've been in therapy. Talking about that night. About why I acted that way. About how I was raised to view people in service positions as lesser. It's messed up, and I'm working on it. That's good. I'm glad you're doing that work. I don't expect you to take me back or anything. I just wanted you to know that I heard you. It took time, but I heard you. I appreciate that. The guy I'm with now? He called me out last week when I was short with a barista. Said he wouldn't tolerate that behavior. And I didn't get mad. I apologized to the barista. I'm trying to be better. That's all anyone can ask. We stood there for a moment. Then she said, "You deserved better than who I was. I hope you find someone who's already the person you need." Thank you. I hope you become the person you want to be. She went back inside. I stayed on the patio, feeling something like closure. Final update. It's been 8 months now. I'm seeing someone new, someone I met through a volunteer organization. She's kind, thoughtful, tips well, and treats everyone with respect. It's not even something I have to think about with her. It's just who she is. Last week, we went to a restaurant and our server spilled water on the table. My girlfriend immediately said, "No worries, happens to me all the time," and helped clean it up. The server looked so relieved, so grateful. That's when I knew I'd found what I was looking for. Not someone who I had to teach to be decent, but someone who already was. I think about that dinner sometimes. About how one moment can reveal everything you need to know about a person. About how the way someone treats people they think don't matter tells you everything about their character. I don't regret ending the engagement. I don't regret standing up for that waiter. I don't regret any of it. Because here's what I learned. You can't build a life with someone who lacks basic empathy. You can't fix cruel. You can't compromise on kindness. And most importantly, how someone treats the waiter tells you exactly how they'll treat you once the honeymoon phase is over, once you're no longer impressing them, once you become part of the routine of their life. That waiter was a mirror, and I'm grateful I looked into it before it was too late.